Coming up on Coastline News, see what happened to an 8-month-old baby.
And see why some voters are being questioned. All coming up in just a few minutes.
Good evening and welcome to Coastline News. I'm your host, Amy Sear.
And I'm Nikki Olguin. Police in Minneapolis are searching for an 8-month-old boy who was allegedly abducted from his home. Carlos Orozco was taken from his apartment just before noon on Wednesday. The mother told police she'd left the baby in his car seat while she took a shower. When she got out of the shower, the child was gone, and police have identified an acquaintance of the boy's mother, Isabel Diaz-Castillo, as a suspect. She is believed to be driving a red Kia Sportage and may be traveling with her 12-year-old son.
Authorities say 19 voters allegedly voted more than once for President Barack Obama. One of the voters was Meloise Richardson, a poll worker for the last election. Richardson admitted voting more than once in a television interview, and an investigation report said she allegedly voted absentee and also signed the voting book at the polls. However, she says she was not trying to break the law, although this seems interesting. Authorities say in the big picture it wouldn't have changed the outcome of the presidential election.
According to President Barack Obama, the proposed $85 million budget could have led people without jobs. Across-the-board budget cuts, also known as the sequester, are scheduled to take effect next week. Obama is calling the cuts a meat-cleaver approach to reducing the deficit. He believes the cuts will impact the nation's military readiness and investments in areas like education. Obama would rather offset the sequester through a combination of increased tax revenue. However, lawmakers are opposed to more tax revenue and said Obama got the tax increase he wanted during the fiscal cliff negotiations.
Coming up on Coastline News, see what major event hit Russia over the weekend.
And see why travelers on a cruise are happy to be off that ship. All coming up.
Point Loma.
Maddie Louds, Julie McKibben.
Hi, I'm Julie McKibben.
Breaking news. I'm with Kelsey Lowe. She just got dumped by her boyfriend.
As a freshman, he was allowed a car. He scans himself into chapel. He once beat the Point Loma baseball team single-handedly, blindfolded. His pet cat is Rory the sea lion. He is the most interesting student at Point Loma Nazarene University.
Dude, what are you doing? You're not supposed to film this. Well.
A change is set to take place with the U.S. Post Office. Coastline News reporter Kaylin McMacken is out on the field with more on the story.
Good evening, ladies. Well, if you're used to getting your mail delivered 6 days a week, be prepared for some changes, because if the United States Postal Service gets their way, mail will no longer be delivered on Saturdays. Faced with billions of dollars in losses, the United States Postal Service is seeking to stop Saturday delivery of letters and mail. After a reported $15.9 billion loss last year, the agency said ceasing delivery on Saturday would help maintain cost savings of roughly $2 billion annually.
I'm all for it, actually. I'm all for the Postal Service eliminating Saturday delivery. I just, especially at my office, I'm not here on Saturdays. If I am, it's just for a couple hours. I don't need anything that bad. If I do, I'll just get FedEx or UPS. If it helps the Postal Service to save money and still meet the customer's expectations, then I'm all for it.
Starting in 2010, the Postal Service has continued to close offices, reduce hours, and cut staff in an effort to return the agency to profitability. Since 1981, a congressional mandate has required that the United States Postal Service deliver mail 6 days a week. Now, however, the Postal Service is arguing that changes can be made without congressional approval. The Post Office has made earlier attempts to change the law, only to meet with objections or delays in Congress. The Postal Service would continue to deliver packages 6 days a week, and post offices would still be open on Saturdays. The post office announced that the 5-day mail delivery schedule will begin in August of 2013. Reporting for Coastline News, I'm Kaylin McMacken. As of right now, a Senate hearing on postal operations is scheduled for next week. Reporting for Coastline News, I'm Kaylin McMacken.
1,000 people have been reported injured due to the meteor that struck Russia's Urals region Friday morning. The number injured continues to rise as news reporters come in from across swath of central Russia. About 3,000 buildings have been damaged and mostly broken glass from the blast. Scientists believe one meteoroid had entered the atmosphere where it burned and disintegrated into fragments.
Passengers on board the Carnival Triumph are finally making their way home after spending days trapped on board. Busloads of passengers arrived in New Orleans, Galveston, Texas, and Houston, destined for flights or car trips that will finally take them home. The cruise went horribly wrong when the engine room fire left the ship drifting and without power in the Gulf of Mexico. However, passengers were pleased by the way the ship's crew members met their needs, even during their unpleasant job.
So the weather has kind of been all over the place, and we're getting this hot, cold kind of thing.
Sunny, rainy,
hair
all
up,
the same
hair
day.
down, what to do. But let's go ahead and take it over to weather. Greta?
That's right, ladies. The weather has been crazy recently, so let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on outside right now so you can know kind of how to prepare if you want to go out after you watch the show. Current conditions, the temperature is 55 degrees. You have winds at 10 miles an hour. Humidity is 53%, so it's not too bad, and the dew point is 41 degrees. It's not too chilly, but you're going to want to wear a jacket. Let's take a look at tonight's lows. So we're looking at 37 down here in San Diego. That's pretty chilly for us, so you definitely want to put on a jacket if you're going out late tonight. Up in Irvine, it's pretty warm, 43 degrees. Temecula's cold, 30. Ramona's seeing 27, so they're probably going to get a little bit of snow tonight. That's really cold up there. Let's take a look at tomorrow's highs. We're 66 in San Diego, so we're definitely warming up from tonight. Irvine to Escondido is pretty even. It's 64 all across the board in Ramona as well. Julian's a little bit chillier, though, at 52 degrees. Let's take a look at tomorrow night's lows. So it's warming up a little bit from tonight, 43 degrees in San Diego. Still really cold in Ramona at 33 degrees and even colder in Julian at 28 degrees. So you're probably expecting snow in both of those areas. And let's go ahead and take a look at the 5-day forecast. So Friday, we're looking at cloudy, 66 is your high, 43 is your low. Saturday, it's partly cloudy, 64 high, 45 low. Sunday is sunny, 70 for your high, 43 for your low. Monday is partly cloudy, 72 high, 45 low. Tuesday, partly cloudy, 70 high, 46 low. Let's take a look at your surf report. Right now the wave height is 5 to 6 feet. The wind is east at 4 to 8 miles per hour, which isn't too bad. Your high tide happened at 6:48 a.m. and your low tide happened earlier at 1:41 p.m. That's all the weather I have tonight for you guys. Back to you ladies at the desk.
Thank you, Greta. BMW is recalling more than 30,000 SUVs to fix an oil leak that can knock out power-assisted braking. The recall includes X5 model SUVs in the U.S. from 2007 to 2010. According to the company, a small amount of oil can leak from a brake hose and cause the power-assisted braking to fail. Brakes will still work, but the problem could increase stopping distances and could result with a crash. The company will be replacing the brake vacuum line hose for free. The recall is expected to start this month. BMW has no reports of crashes or injuries. So I heard there's a new game console on the market.
And honestly, I wouldn't know anything about game consoles because the last one I had was Nintendo 64.
Oh, but that's the greatest there.
It's, and it still works, so it's okay. But let's see what's going on with that.
Jake?
Well, Nikki, the N64 is a pretty great system. Anyway, thanks, ladies. Now listen up, all you gamers out there. After a long wait, there's some exciting news coming from the Sony Corporation. Last night, the electronics giant finally unveiled the PlayStation 4. Well, kind of. At an event in New York Wednesday, Sony showed off the new system's power. They demonstrated some live games, and they even showed off the new controller. In fact, they showed just about everything except the actual system itself. The new controller comes equipped with a touchpad, motion controls, and a built-in speaker, as well as a revolutionary new share button which allows gamers to share videos and screenshots online. The PlayStation 4's hardware will essentially just be a supercharged PC. The system will also let gamers watch their friends play live through a spectating feature. Sony is also implementing the new feature called Remote Play. Gamers will eventually be able to play any PS4 game on the PlayStation Vita handheld system. Additionally, a PlayStation app will allow smartphone and tablet users to download games, watch extra content, and stream live broadcasts from anywhere. And obviously, the games look absolutely stunning. Last night, they previewed a number of titles, including the latest installment of the popular Killzone series, a fancy-looking new racing game called Drive Club, and a new internally developed sci-fi action adventure called Knack. To make game design easier for developers, the PlayStation 4 will essentially just be a supercharged PC. The system will have an 8GB RAM with a big hard drive and will run on an AMD processing chip. Unfortunately, the new hardware specs means that no PlayStation games from previous systems will be backwards compatible. But Sony plans on making old PlayStation games available for download online. Sony has yet to name a price for the next generation of its PlayStation, but consumers can expect the product to hit shelves sometime during this holiday season. Well, that's all I have for tonight. I'm Jacob Roth, and that was your Consumer Report.
Thank you, Jake. The bookstore chain Barnes & Noble will be closing 30% of its stores. An article in the Wall Street Journal said Barnes & Noble has 689 retail stores and 674 college stores. The book chain plans to decrease to 450 to 500 stores with the next decade. The chain is expecting to close at least 20 stores a year. A spokesperson from the company said that some of the stores are unprofitable and some will be relocated to better properties.
A pedestrian was fatally struck Tuesday night by a car and the driver left the scene but later contacted authorities, El Cajon police said. The victim was a man about 70 years old, said Police Lieutenant Frank LaHaye. He was wearing dark clothing when he was hit about 6:10 p.m. by a Toyota Camry heading south on Avocado Avenue near the intersection of Carter Street. Paramedics responded, but the man died at the scene. The driver did not stop, but later called police from home with an aid of a translator. The driver is cooperating with the investigation. Coming up in just a few minutes, find out why so many in Point Loma went without water.
And we'll give you an update on sports.
They just really get under my skin. Fast enough to die.
Puck's your friend if you've nothing to hide.
Why don't you kick anymore?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I received a phone call that I will never forget.
I want you to look at me when you do it.
License and registration, please.
A busted water pipe on Nimitz Boulevard near Shafter Street caused a large sinkhole to form and led to the shutdown of water service for several apartment complexes Sunday while forcing the closure of a major roadway, officials said. Several apartment complexes were without water while crews cleaned up the spill Sunday and part of Monday.
A 911 call made shortly before 9 p.m. Tuesday reported that 2 people had been shot in Valley Center, the sheriff's department said. The caller said that a man had shot his own wife and then himself. Deputies were sent to investigate at a residence on Littlefield Lane near Oak Trail Road. Homicide detectives were then requested. No other information has been released as the case is pending the results of the homicide investigation.
So I know it's been a really exciting week for sports, and there's just always so much going on. There's a lot going on this week for sports.
Yeah, there is, but this time it's not the exciting, cool shots that players are making.
Definitely not. We've had a loss in the sports world. Let's go ahead and take it to Annie.
Yes, it has been a sad week for the Los Angeles Lakers and the NBA community as beloved longtime Lakers owner Dr. Jerry Buss passed away early Monday morning. The tributes have poured in from fans and friends of Dr. Buss, all expressing deep admiration for the late owner. For former Laker Magic Johnson, it is an emotional goodbye. Take a look.
I'm gonna miss him. I'm gonna miss him. The man meant so much to me. His beautiful smile and his warm heart, you know, just his door was always open to anybody. He helped so many kids go to college, and this man has turned a city into Laker fans. I mean, this city loves the Lakers and adore the Lakers, but it was because of Dr. Jerry Buss and his vision. I hope that his kids keep the franchise in the Buss family because that's what their dad would want. I hope they never sell the team. And God bless them. I love them.
The Lakers won 10 league championships while Buss owned the team. The 34-year owner was 80 years old. Switching gears to Sea Lion news, my friend and Coastline reporter Jacob Roth was really hoping that the women's basketball team went 5-0 in Hawaii so that I could do this. But they still went 4-0. Still pretty good though. Thanks to that, the women are sitting at a cool 600 record. They've got a 6-game winning streak going, and they are taking on Cal Baptist as we speak. Go get them, girls. And baseball is pretty hot at the moment too. They're milking a 3-game win streak and are 3-1 in conference thanks to a couple of complete game shutouts this weekend from aces Tyler Garco and Justin Lawrence. Let's hope the good times keep on rolling. That's all I have for you, Loma.
Well, that's all the time we have for you tonight, Point Loma. Thank you for watching. I'm Nikki Olin.
That's right. We hope you all enjoy your spring break, and we'll see you back in here in just a few weeks. I'm Amy Sear. Good night, Point Loma.